experience here at Prog Power has been awesome and beyond expectations, I'd say. We didn't know actually what to expect coming here, our first time in the US and first time at Prog Power. We didn't know what to expect. First band to play on Friday, and we thought that if the venue is half full, we are winners, but it was packed yesterday, and people were singing along, fists in the air and clapping along, so it was way beyond our expectations, and it's been an awesome experience.
And now you guys actually released Purgatorio. You haven't even released it back home in Sweden, like officially. You guys have your release party coming up next weekend on the 15th. Your crowd there loves you guys. Do you think you're going to get the same response what you got yesterday at Prog Power?
Hopefully. We're doing the release party is in our hometown of Gothenburg. So there will be a lot of friends and family there, except for fans. It's going to be a special occasion for us to get to celebrate the release together with fans, friends, and family. But hopefully the response will be the same. But I think also the Swedes, we are a bit more reserved than you are here in the US. And also if you go out in Europe now, the Englishmen and the Germans, they are crazy, It's a crazy audience. And I would say it's pretty much the same here in the US. In Sweden, we are a little bit more reserved, so I wouldn't expect the exact same response as we had here yesterday, but we're used to it, so hopefully pretty much the same response. At least we're hoping for that.
That's awesome. Well, see, I'm from Seattle, and we have a lot of kind of the similar with where the Swedes, because I've spent time in Sweden. Fans, the way that they react at shows is kind of how we react here in Seattle. You can see us, we'll stand back with our arms crossed and kind of watch the show, and you can't really tell right away if we're having a good time or not, but we're actually having a great time.
Yeah, it's like that in Sweden as well.
So let's talk about the album. You guys decided to work with Jacob Herman at Top Floor Studios. He's an amazing producer. How did you guys decide to pick him for this album?
Well, we looked at the alternatives when it came to drum recording, and Jacob is very well known, and when it comes to recording drums, he has his own studio in Gothenburg, and besides that, he's also been involved in a lot of other productions all over the world as a drum coordinator and drum tech and drum recording engineer. So I think, and when we talked to fellow musicians who has been there and recording and said that, he's great, that's a great job. So we decided to go for his studio when it came to recording the drums, and it turned out great. Then the other instruments, we have recorder in our home studios. Henrik's got his own, and me and Kenny, we got our own home studios, and we recorded our own instruments in our own studios. And then Kenny boiled it all down in the mix. And I would say we pretty much have produced this album ourselves as previous albums. Working with Jacob was a great experience, to come into a professional studio with professional people helping you out and giving you some tips and making sure everything sounds great. That is a great first step to have an awesome sounding album. Like I would say, in my opinion, that our album turned out to sound great, and that is one ingredient when it comes to the sound. The drums are very important in the metal music. Therefore, we never even thought of the idea of recording the drums ourselves. We need professional help for that, to have them sound like we wanted to sound.
So before you guys went into the studio, were you completely written and done in your process, or did it kind of develop as you went along in the process of recording? I know artists tend to do things a little bit differently.
I would say the songs were pretty much finished. We had one song, though. The last song on the album, it didn't have any bridge or chorus at that point. We tried out everything, me and Henrik. So that one was written on the fly. We pretty much, me and Henrik wrote the bridge and the chorus as I recorded it. But pretty much the album was finished. We added some layers of keyboards afterwards. And also, when you are recording, you come up with maybe some ideas while you're recording. But I would say that the songs were pretty much finished when we entered the studio.
And now you're talking about recording, that with the writing process that you and Henrik were doing a lot of the writing. Are you the only two that do the writing, or does the entire band do the writing?
I would say Henrik is the mastermind behind most of the songs. Often it starts out with idea from Henrik, idea of a riff or a rhythm or a combination of both. And also he has some ideas for the harmonies. And then we go from there, and me and Henrik, we try to build a song out of all these ideas. Together we develop the songs, and when we think that we are pretty much finished with the foundation of the song, we bring it to the rehearsal room and we try out together, and Andre is trying drum stuff and Kenny's trying some bass stuff, and so they add their thing to the songs. When it comes to the lyrics on this album, Andre helped me out with the lyrics on the last album a little bit. I would say that he has contributed a little bit more on this album. We have co-written some of the songs, the lyrics for some of the songs on this album, and that has been also a great thing for me, because I tend to spend a lot of time writing lyrics. I wanted to focus more on my vocal parts. Therefore, it spared me a lot of time having Andre's help, and the lyrics turned out great. So I would think we will keep on doing this, cooperate. Yeah, as Kenny did the final mix of the album, I would say we have contributed, as all of us have contributed to this album equally, even though maybe the songwriting is mainly Henrik and me, and Andre is contributed with the lyrics. But the contribution to make this album happen, we have all been part of that.
And now this is your third studio album. Are you guys still having fun making the music?
Oh yeah. We make music. Well, I would say just the recording process and the album production process, I don't think any of us enjoys that, actually. It's great when you have the final product in your hand and you're proud and pleased with the results, like we feel now. Then it's all worth the while. But the actual process is, we have never enjoyed it that much. We see ourselves as a live band. We want to be there out on the stage and meet the audience. That's what we are in this for, to get to do that. And to get to do that, we need to produce albums. So we enjoy every second of it when we're out on the road and we get to meet our fans. So I would say we make music that we like to listen to ourselves, and so therefore to play these songs is the best thing we know.
So you touched on the live stuff. You guys have toured quite a bit over in Europe and Sweden. You've not been in the USA yet. With the new album, are there plans looking forward to coming to the United States for a full tour?
Not any plans at this point, but after this show yesterday, it definitely shows that we have a following here, and especially after Prog Power now, many people came up to us during Prog Power telling us that, this was the first time they saw us, and they have never heard of us before, some of them, and now they are fans, So, we have been talking a lot these last days about, maybe we should check the possibilities to come over to the U.S. and do a whole tour here. That would be awesome.
So what about for Europe and Sweden? Are you guys planning touring there?
Definitely. That would be at least one tour to support the album, as well as festival shows. We have nothing settled right now, so I can't tell you anything specific, but there will be a tour to support the album, as well as festival shows.
That's awesome. We come out for a few of the festival shows in Sweden every year, so we're hoping that we catch you at least once while we're there next summer, so that'd be really awesome.
Yeah.
So talking about touring, do you guys have any funny tour stories that you can tell fans about?
One thing that happened that was pretty cool during the last tour we did with Firewind in Europe, we had this connection to Kiki Downing, the guitarist of Judas Priest, former guitarist and the former of the band, actually. We had a connection through Henrik. He knows this woman who knows Kiki Downing, and we thought that, hey, we're playing in Wolverhampton, and KK has his castle outside Wolverhampton. We thought that, hey, maybe we should invite him to the show and tell him that, hey, you're on our guest list. So we did that, and we had no expectations for him showing up. But after the show, there he was, asking for us, and, hey, where's Manimal? I'm supposed to meet a Manimal here. And yeah, so we spoke with him backstage, and yeah, he said, "Yeah, I enjoy the show. Well, good work, guys, and good luck." So we took pictures with him, and he said, "Now I'm going to watch 2 songs and Firewind, and then we go back home." So he was mainly there to watch our show. So that was crazy story, you know. We didn't think that he would actually show up, but he did, and it's awesome.
Wow, that is really a cool story. Let me ask you about the sound you guys have. Gothenburg has this thing called the Gothenburg Sound, and you guys definitely have that. When I was listening to the album, I'm like listening going, this is definitely something I'm used to hearing out of that Gothenburg region. Who did you guys grow up listening to? Were there people in Gothenburg that were influences to you, or was it a broader spectrum from around the world?
I would say a broader spectrum. We were all brought up with bands like Judas Priest and Queensryche, and the German power metal scene with bands like Halloween and Gamma Ray. So I would say those bands have been the bands inspiring us to start playing metal music and start to create our own version of metal. But of course, you when you have all these great bands around you, like we have in Gothenburg, you get inspired by each other, of course, and you try to help each other, and yeah, so it becomes almost like a family. And I don't think, maybe some of the bands they see it as a competition, but I would say we don't see it as a competition, and not in a negative way, at least, because we feel we're happy for fellow musicians in other bands, which we know, when they achieve things, and yeah, we're happy for them, and I hope that they are as happy for us when we have success. And so of course it's inspiring with bands around you that reaches success and stuff, you know. It's important for us when building a network, reaching out, and yeah.
Awesome. So let me ask you a couple last questions. While you guys are here in the United States, are you going to stop and do any kind of touring around the area, just checking out the United States, up the East Coast, before you head back to Sweden?
We will actually stay a couple of days. It looks like we're leaving tomorrow. We're leaving Atlanta we have a final destination, Memphis. We're flying out from Memphis back to Sweden on Wednesday, and we're going to have a small road trip, a couple of days off, and check the United States out, and probably stop by Tennessee. And so we're going to, this is my and Kenny's first time in the U.S. Andre and Hendrix have been here before, but they've never been to this area of the country. So yeah, so we want to spend a couple of days checking things out. It's going to be a small road trip for us.
That'll be fun. That's a nice area to be out in, especially this time of year. So it's not super hot still, but it's really nice. So it's awesome. Last question. This one's for the fans that have followed you guys on your journey so far. Do you have anything you want to say to your fans? Go
grab the new album, of course. If you're into classic heavy metal music, if you're a fan of bands like Judas Priest and Queensryche and Halloween, you know, you're going to love this album. And for those of you who already have the album, and if you get the opportunity, come and see us live, because we see ourselves mainly as a live band, and you should experience us live. Then we get to put on our show, you know, so come and see us live.
Awesome. So let me wrap this up. This is Diane with Yesterday's News, and I'm talking with Samuel Nyman of Manimal. They just put out a new album yesterday, September 7th. It's called Purgatorio. You guys can pick that up in digital, CD, and vinyl. Make a point of picking it up. It's a fantastic album. Samuel, thank you for the conversation. We wish you a lot of luck with the new album. And again, we hope to see you out on the road sometime in the next year.
Yeah, thank you.